really good at inviting people to our stuff. And we need to learn to invite ourselves into the world around us.
Instead of thinking about church equals building and expensive full-time leadership, we're beginning to talk about what would it look like to start new works of ministry in all kinds of different contexts.
The church, when you say that, for most people, the vision of a building pops into their head. And so right away, people say, well, where is your church? And we stop them quickly and say, no, we are the church. The other really unique thing about Crossroads is they wanted to start in the active adult communities, groups of over 55. And these folks have retired. So the opportunity was to reach out to them to see just how involved with their neighbors they were and whether there was an opportunity for folks to get to know their neighbors better and then serve their neighbor.
Every new worshiping community that we start has to be able to answer the question, what worldly good am I?
Glenn and Jen are folks who had a real heart for urban young adults that they were seeing, who were longing for faith conversation that was engaging.
We started meeting young adults and middle-aged folks who were saying that they didn't feel like they connected with local churches. And some of them described themselves as spiritually homeless, people who are in between churches or they never connect. And so we started holding author events in DC at bookstores, pubs, restaurants. And at the end, we would always say to people, if you're interested in continuing this conversation, let's meet and talk about these books more. So we've had people like Brian McLaren and Diana Butler Bass and some scientists and a few artists who talk about how faith interacts with their work.
I heard about what they were doing and called up Glenn and said, I'd love to have coffee and talk about, what's happening, what's going on, and what your vision is.
It's funny, the people who come to, whether it's our speaker events or book clubs or worship services, these are people who are really grappling with faith. And to me, it's because they're disciples and they really want to figure out what it means to follow Jesus.
Come to the new church development team. Figure out, we won't have the answers for you, but we'll walk alongside with you and begin to pray and begin to journey with you to try to figure out, so who else within our community in the presbytery can come alongside with you? What are the other natural partnerships, strategic partnerships that we need to figure out in order to continue to launch and move into this area?
Together,
Together,
we're making a difference.